Hey, it's Levi with Henley's Happy Trails, and I'm going to do a quick tech video for you today. Now, previously, I have done a very long video about RV Trip Wizard, talking about all the different things that it can do and kind of how to use it. I'll have a link to that video in the description. However, we've done videos of various web applications, and a lot of them are subscription-based. Most people don't have 10,000 RV subscriptions, so sometimes you've decided upon one or the other, and you need to utilize the tools that it has to find what you need on your route. So this video is kind of about that. I'm going to take you through RV Trip Wizard. Let's say, for example, that is the premium RV routing app that you use. And I'm going to show you how you can find some free campsites. Now, obviously, you can use RV Trip Wizard to find Walmarts on your route, and I talk about that in the video. You can use it to find Cracker Barrels, truck stops, rest stops, and all of those things fairly easily. Now, finding free campsites on public land, for example, is a little bit more out of the way than just turning on Walmarts, for example. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm here in RV Trip Wizard. I'm not just going to use this. I'm going to use the app and allow it to branch out where it does to find a spot. So first I need to make a trip. Let's say I'm going from up here in the Portland area or Washington, Seattle area, and heading down to Phoenix, Arizona. So I don't have a specific place in mind right now. Let's just it's not showing Arizona. There it is, down here at the bottom. So I'm going to hit more details and make that the last stop. So I've created a route in RV Trip Wizard. Now you'll notice that this is showing me all the RV parks that are in the area, but I don't want RV parks that I pay for. I want to find free camping. So I'm going to turn on the Show Hide Parks, which is going to show all of them. So instead of showing the park list, I want to show filters, and I'll turn filters on up here. And under park types, if I drop that down, I get different types here. Now I'm going to drop it down a little bit further because on the West Coast there's a lot of BLM and DNR land. And so if I click that, it's going to filter out everything except for BLM campgrounds. Now you just have to find one that is free. Now, not some BLM land has like actual campgrounds that you pay a fee for. Usually they're not very expensive. They're like $10 a night kind of campgrounds. But I see this one here that's relatively close to Phoenix, and that's where I want to end up. So I click that. It's called Vulture Peak Lower Trailhead. I can see more details to see if somebody has reviewed it on campground reviews, and it looks like no one really has. So I'm going to check out the website. So when I click that, it automatically takes me to the blm.gov website, and I can read a little bit about that campsite. And that's just talking about the trailhead that's there. It looks like this is a trailhead with a large parking area that you can camp at. So nothing about camping, which is usually good, because if they charge for camping, normally it would say on BLM's website. But let's go a little farther, since it does look like it's a trailhead parking lot. Let's go back here to RV Trip Wizard and zoom in on that little dot. Now down here in this bottom corner, I'm going to turn the satellite on to see if it's even usable for RVs. So this is where it's pointing me to, but I notice that there's a parking lot area right here, and a lot of BLM looks like this. If you haven't camped at a lot of BLM places, there will be kind of a sort of dirt road and usually places to pull off, and people just kind of camp wherever. It's dispersed camping. So that looks promising. I do want to get a little bit of a better view and maybe some more information. So I'm going to do a couple of things. One, I'm going to hit the satellite map here, and that's actually going to open up the map in Google Satellite, which usually is a little bit higher definition. And you'll notice right here, that same parking lot, I see an RV, there's another one, there's two more RVs. and that looks like a car. So obviously people are staying here, so this is looking promising. And looks like I've got Vulture Mountains Recreation Area over here. If I click that, I can see some reviews of people who have hiked there. Not much about camping. So we're going to use one more resource now that we have found this. Now keep in mind, everything that we've done so far, we've gotten to all of it simply by turning on the BLM DNR filter in RV Trip Wizard, and then we've utilized the links that they have. Now, I could find out definitively whether this is a free campsite a couple of ways. One, they give a phone number right here in RV Trip Wizard. I could call them and ask directly and probably get a pretty good answer. Another thing that we can try to do here is we're going to go to freecampsites.net. Now, this does have a planning feature, and it does help you find free campsites. The only thing that I don't like about it, to be honest, is the markers. You basically have free, pay, permit, and there's no marker that, case in point, if you got RV Trip Wizard, I'm going to search for points of interest here. So you'll notice that these icons, like this Loves here, looks like a Loves. I can see that from the map. Make sure my Walmarts are on. See, there we go. So I can see where the Walmarts are here. I can see this is a Flying J, and so on. So the markers are very easy to tell, so I can quickly find what I'm looking for. This does give Walmarts and things like that around. The only downside is all of them are basically this icon, so you have to click everything to figure out what it is. However, this is a really good free camping resource to use, freecampsites.net, and I'm going to paste that name up here in the search box, and it should take me here. Now, usually once you put in an address at the very center of the map, which is about here, is where it centers on. So when I click that, this says, we stayed at the Vulture Peak Trailhead. This is looking like what we want. I'm going to zoom in here to the satellite view, and there's that parking lot. So that is the spot. So when I click on this description area up here, it's going to take me to that site. And right up here, it says this is a free campsite. So that answers my question. So when you're looking for free campsites, and anywhere, but with RV Trip Wizard, one thing of note is you may have to do a little bit of more research. However, it is completely possible to find BLM and DNR campgrounds using RV Trip Wizard and using that method. I could apply that same method to basically any one, let me turn the filters on, any one of these campgrounds that it filtered. And check and make sure it's free, look at the satellite view, look at Google's satellite view to see exactly what it looks like parking there. So if you already have RV Trip Wizard, you can utilize this to find free campsites. Also, do check out freecampsites.net. And if you don't have RV Trip Wizard, it is kind of an awesome app or web app. And like I said, I did a whole video on everything it can do as far as planning an RV route. And you can check that out, link in the description below. If you decide you want to get RV Trip Wizard, we do have an affiliate link in the description below. And we would appreciate it if you use that. It helps us out if we're the ones that sent you there. So that's about it for today. Stay safe and happy trails.